There's a war going on in the books. Can't escape from the team. Call the morning steam. It's time to break one for cover. That's gonna cover. Call the morning steam. It's time to break one for cover. That's gonna cover. That's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott. Sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money. You know how we do it.
All right, a pleasant good morning to you, coming from the sports betting capital of the world, Las Vegas. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to the Morning Steam Show here for Friday, March the 6th. We've got some great sports action today, and we've already had some incredible sports action today overnight here with the World Baseball Classic, with Team Japan, a domination there, 13-0 in their win this morning at the World Baseball Classic in Tokyo, as Japan came out on top over Chinese Taipei. But the story, Shohei Ohtani, a second inning grand slam. He also singled and doubled. Japan rolled to victory there in that one over Chinese Taipei, as action got underway here over the last couple of days there at the World Baseball Classic. Also last night it was Australia defeating Czechia 5-1 there. So a good win for Australia in and under there. How about that? And coming up here in short time, we're going to kick it off again with more from the World Baseball Classic here in just a couple of hours from right now. In fact, about a little more than 90 minutes from now, it'll be Cuba up against Panama here. First off, with Cuba $1.70. This is a close game here with Cuba going up against Panama here. For Cuba, it'll be Livan Moinello, who actually pitches in Japan. He's got a 1.46 ERA. He'll be facing a Panama lineup missing Ivan Herrera. So Cuba has the pitching edge there, historically has produced offense in this matchup. I do like Cuba there. We haven't taken them over yet. I like Cuba to win over Panama. -1.5 on the run line. I think might be $1.15 here. Let me check the current run line here, but I'm going to take a play here in the World Baseball Classic and take Cuba here -1.5 in the upcoming game here at 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific against Panama. Also, maybe you could, if that's a little bit stiff, you could look to the total here in this one. I might go under here. You got the two left-handers. Logan Allen will be actually on the mound for Panama, and combined with Panama missing Herrera, I think that could make it a lower score here. So I think Cuba's pitching advantage and Panama missing Herrera give the lean to Cuba. Maybe they're on the run line in the lefty-lefty matchup, maybe sticking with the under there at 8.5 runs with Panama and Cuba. Then maybe a little bit more interesting after that, Netherlands and Venezuela. Netherlands a $5 favorite there in that one against the Netherlands. Look, the Dutch can have a really interesting team. I mean, they've got their lineup is pretty decent, but I don't know. Venezuela has a massive edge here. I think Ranger Suarez starts there, and the Dutch team, I think, will have an inexperienced arm, I think, and with the guys like Acuna in there, should create some offense, maybe to win by multiple runs still. So I guess I could go with Venezuela. I want to see what the Dutch have to offer this time. Maybe I watch too much Little League and want to think that the Dutch have something going here, but maybe the total might be better on this one with Venezuela's elite offense and capable of putting up crooked numbers in the innings against Netherlands. Really, the Netherlands are going to be more of an offensive team than a pitching team for sure. So when you got Bogarts and Albies there to give the Dutch a little bit of pop, maybe they can get a few runs. So maybe over 9.5 might be the best play there, as Venezuela's lineup likely does the bulk of the scoring early, and then the Netherlands will contribute some late offense. Like I said, everybody knows that the first round games, you have a little bit of a pitch count there, that the starters can only go 65 pitches, I believe it is. So it might be a little damage to the bullpen there to push the game, something like 7-3 or 8-3 maybe for Venezuela. I guess that would easily cover the 2.5. I want to give the Dutch offense a little bit more credit there. So maybe it'll be 7-4 or 8-4, 7-5, something in there. I'm going to look to go over there. Maybe the lean is to Venezuela. I don't want to get too caught up in trying to take the Dutch and look like a fool here. But also today, Mexico takes on Great Britain. Not really any close matchups there. Mexico, big favorite. Puerto Rico and Colombia. Puerto Rico minus 350. Dominican Republic and Nicaragua. Dominican Republic, huge favorite there as well. And United States and Brazil. Going to have to lay it. I'm going to have to lay it with the United States. I mean, look, they should. We saw what Japan did to Chinese Taipei. Chinese Taipei. Look, you got some guys in there. You got some, from the Taiwan League a little bit too. They should have been better than that, man. The U.S., Japan just crushed them. So I think the U.S. can crush Brazil here. And look, the total's 15. The spread's 9.5, right? So is it really going to be 12-3, 12-2, 13-2, somewhere there? I don't know. I think it's got more of a chance to be 10 or 11-0 than Brazil getting anything, quite frankly, on the board. I mean, they could get a little flair here and there, but I really don't think they're going to be able to get any offense going against the United States pitching staff here. So I am going to look for the United States to cover 9.5 runs today. I think they'll win the game somewhere about run rule them 15-0 or whatever it is there. I'm going to look for the U.S. to beat Brazil. Brazil may actually, they beat teams that are not predominant baseball countries. They've had success before. Not mocking Brazil's baseball program at all. And actually, if you look at it, as a whole, I mean, they're here in the World Baseball Classic. So, they have achieved a little bit in baseball, but I'm going to look for the U.S. at least in the first one to roll. But I'm kind of thinking that I'm still want to look at the Dominican Republic here, maybe in the tournament, as far as just trying to play a price play. Okay, Chicago Joe joining us today. Bobby Mack is here. Twisted is here. That's my look at the World Baseball Classic. We're one late game, Chinese Taipei and Czechia. That one's over in Japan there. So, but we're underway here today now with the games over here in the U.S. So, should be some fun with the tournament here. All right. Also, let's see who else is here. Nuke's ready for the college basketball action. How about the Sabres, you guys? What was I thinking there with the Sabres? Steve Leftarian is here. Dougie Wise is here, everybody. Hello. He's got the Knicks today. Andrew K is here as well. And Nuke says Cuba. You're going to lay with Cuba here. I'm going with Cuba. Yep, they have the mercy rule. Brazil, great at soccer. But like I said, and, they've got a few, I won't say, non-domestic players, let's just say, and M the Great. Hello to M the Great. Yep. So yeah, we're back in. There's we're playing games obviously here. In uh, Puerto Rico, in Houston, in Miami. So fun events here going on at the World Baseball Classic over the next few days here. Pool A with Puerto Rico, Panama, Cuba, Canada, Colombia. I believe that is in San Juan. The Pool B is United States, Mexico, Italy, Great Britain, and Brazil in Houston. And in Miami, it's Venezuela, Netherlands, Dominican Republic, Israel, and Nicaragua. A little Latin influence there in that part of the region. And in Tokyo, they've been underway here for a few days already. All right, we got steam coming in right now. And I agree, Big Crypto. I heard some people trying to say, hey, instead of playing the instead of laying the 9.5, why not just go over 15? I'm like, don't go over 15, just lay 9.5 with the U.S. Look, the Japan game was 13-0. You saw it. Otani hit that grand slam in the second inning. They dominated them. No reason why U.S. doesn't go out there and start strong. Look, they'll be tough games. We're not going to go. Don't want to compare it to the hockey. Be respectful here, but you look at some of those early hockey games too. That's just you're on a collision course. But I don't know. Some of these other teams are interesting, right? I mean, I like Dominican Republic here, maybe to pull something off in this one. Could they do it? Is it going to be, collision course, United States and Japan? Everyone like this video, subscribe to our channel, Sports Money, here on YouTube, fastest growing sports betting channel on YouTube. And don't forget, our MMA preview is up right now with VB MMA Picks. We had a great conversation here this week with Mr. Blonde. And if you haven't heard Mr. Blonde, I mean, this guy breaks it down like you are listening to an audio book. The way he talks about the fight, it's like you're watching it in your head with the way he describes his handicapping prowess, and it's a pleasure to listen to. He previewed Holloway versus Oliveira, Dober versus Johnson, and also Gaston Bolaños and Jung Young Lee, a couple of featherweights here. Check out VB MMA Picks underneath the live tab here. Whoops, whoops, where's my background? There we go. Isn't this thing cool that Mike made with all the logos and everything there? Okay, let's see. Is that it from the chat? Hey, let me cover a little bit of news. Let me cover some winners yesterday here from our show and from the premium picks over at winnable.com. Man, I was a little light, in the college basketball yesterday. I tried to get cute and some tennis action. Probably should just stick to the basketball come tournament time. Overnight here, we did have I went with Australia minus 4.5. They won 5-1 over Czechia, so didn't bring that one home, but did have a good day with we won our college basketball VIP selection with Tulane and Temple and our free picks. Over in the WTA, we did have Buxa there, but I think it was a retirement, so the men's picks were a lot better with Magic Man over GMP. We had Baez over Sang. We had Kovacevic over Hurkacz. So we swept the action there with the ATP plays anyway. Went 2-1 with our women's college basketball plays, but did lose that early play too, the free play we had on the air, but we were able to pull through with a couple of winners with the ladies yesterday, 2-1 here. And also golf underway here this week. It's underway right now, and we got one guy. We got Shoffley alive here. We'll say this about the golf right now. Anybody looking to get in, that this tournament, because of its, the difficult course, I don't say difficult, but it is a bit of a test. And this is an invitational field, so it's a familiar course. Well, going into today's action here at the Arnold Palmer Invitational, no player has ever come, we'll say no player, but right now it's a long streak of tournaments here. I believe it might be 16 or 18 years. No player has come off the pace from more than 5 strokes back after the first round. So that would immediately limit this field to possibly 8 winners. Now, Scotty Scheffler is not in those 8 golfers. So, okay, so you got that. Okay, put that aside. But any other golfer. So right now you would draw the line at Adam Scott on up. Now, Xander Schauffele, who is in my group of 6 players this week, is in that group of 8. So I'm looking for him to score hopefully at 28-1 or better. But you can look at all 8 golfers right now that were within that, because Daniel Berger shot 9 under. Now, that's also a factor because he actually got out a little bit far. So it does, kind of say that, if you had, for example, if he went out and shot 7 under, you would have been able to draw that list of golfers a lot deeper. But if you adhere to this concept here that I'm talking about, you'd pretty much have just 8 golfers left that are actually in live contention here. Adam Scott, Xander Schauffele, Ryan Fox, Cam Young, Johnny Vegas, Colin Morikawa, Ludwig Oberg, and the leader, Daniel Berger. And that's the thing. When you get out to a lead like Berger did, I don't know if he's going to go wire to wire, shot 63 yesterday, but that's just something to consider. Bud Cauley's already up to 3 under today. Or is still at 3 under today. He's actually gone even par here a little bit. No one's really made quite a move yet. There are only a few golfers here on the front 9. All right, and I want to cover a few more things here real quick. Some of the college action from yesterday, some of the winners from yesterday as well, and some of the good games like Michigan and Iowa. We saw Iowa hang in there and get the cover 71-68 in that one. The Michigan won despite all those turnovers that they had. Iowa's gone just 2-5 in their last 7. Louisiana Tech 76-71 over Liberty. Liberty kind of with a little bit of a clunker here to end the season. There, but still a good season for Liberty. But Bates for Louisiana Tech, 34 points in that one. Liberty has lost 3 of 4, kind of crashing down here at the end right now. Valpo edged Indiana State in Missouri Valley Conference play at Arch Madness. The story at Arch Madness is the unders. Once again, 3 more unders yesterday, except in the Evansville, Northern Iowa game. It opened 124, went up to 128, landed 127, probably went under the final number. You might have won with over 124. You might have lost with an under 126 or so, but nonetheless, it went under the final number, and this tournament continues to go under right now for the last 3 or 4 years. It is heavy to the under. I mean, I think it's, I want to say it's 75 or 80%. It might be It might be right now 4-19 to the under in the last 23 at Arch Madness. I wish I would have had the right number here. It was either 4-16 into yesterday or after yesterday. But I think it was before it was into yesterday. But this has been under City at Arch Madness out there, and they're at it today here at Arch Madness. We'll preview the action here in college basketball in just a moment. Did have here other games here. MAAC there yesterday. We saw Sacred Heart with the winner with the upset of Iona there. Sun Belt Conference yesterday. Man, we struck out here with that under with James Madison and Southern Miss as it ended up going over there in that one. The Sun Belt pyramid continues, but we had a team finally win 2 games in a row in that one. Ohio Valley, we had the games there yesterday with Southeast Missouri State advancing over Lindenwood. Summit League. Hey, Summit League didn't go over there yesterday, right? We talked about that St. Thomas, South Dakota State game, kind of hinting there St. Thomas and the under on the show yesterday. And the games did go under yesterday in the Summit League, which is unusual. The Summit has been the high-scoring league in the country this season. Portland and Pepperdine. Portland gets the win, advances there. USD upset LMU. I said that Steve Lappin was fired. Maybe I stand corrected. I think it was just a mutual parting of the ways. He is coaching the team here in this tournament, and he got a win. So the vacation's not quite over there for Steve Lappin. Also, here on the Morning Steam, we had a winner in the Patriot League, Loyola Maryland and Colgate game to go over there yesterday. Patriot League continues here today. Action also from tennis here with play from Indian Wells, man, it was a fun, great day of action out there at Indian Wells. Didn't come in too hard there with a lot of picks, but probably going to be at it here. We're in the second round now. We'll take a look at some of the great action out there at Indian Wells. Like I said, I did well on the men's side. I kind of flubbed it up on the women's side. Probably should have had more college basketball picks in there yesterday, but action continues today at Indian Wells. NBA winners last night included here on the morning steam. We did have the winner with Chicago and Phoenix on with the under there yesterday. Man, I was having a hard time finding any winners here on the morning steam yesterday. I should be fired from my job. NHL, though, we were able to get a few more, but not many. Yesterday, we did have the under with Utah and Miami. That one scored for us here on the show. Buffalo-Pittsburgh game under. Also, we had the Predators at least there yesterday as in that one. Okay, let's get going. We got to preview a lot of games. We got NBA. We've got NHL. We've got college basketball. We've got World Baseball Classic. There's also Friday fixtures. Over in Europe today, each league has a featured game. In Italy, Torino and Napoli. Spain has Real Madrid and Celta de Vigo. Also action in the Bundesliga, Mönchengladbach and Bayern Munich. And France, it's Monaco and PSG. England, FA Cup, Liverpool and Wolves. And in Mexico tonight, Club Leon and Mazatlan, Pumas and Necaxa. How's that for a report? All right, let's get going here with our NBA action here tonight. And let's see, what happened on the Philly Eagle Flyer? What happened on the I was trying to talk about the Grand Salami yesterday over. I think it was close there actually, but man, we had a couple of games with 8 goals and one with 9 goals. I think it went over the Salami yesterday. Let's see, 8, 14, 17, 23, 32, 37, 42, 50 goals in 8 games. I don't remember what though, man. I didn't bet it. So, all right. Good morning to Jordy here. And Andrew K. Yeah, you know what? The thing is, if you watch as much Little League as I do in the World Champion, in the Little League World Series, I mean, that's what you have. I mean, it's mostly players from Curacao. And then you've got a few real Nederlanders up there. All right. Venezuela 6-4. Okay. It went over by a half a point. Thanks, Joe. Is that what you're talking about there? The Grand Salami went over. Must have been, 49.5 there? Okay. Well, hey, I was saying I wanted to go over, but okay, let's go. Let's get with it. Let's talk here NBA on a big day with a lot of news in the NBA here. And we'll start it off with the Heat and the Hornets. Well, what an interesting matchup this is between these two teams. I mean, right now, they got the Miami Heat here. Are they hanging on for dear life at this point? They are 2 games clear of the Charlotte Hornets. We said right here it's going to come down to basically, it feels like the Hornets and the Hawks are the only teams left with a chance to run the Heat down, or the Magic, but are the Magic playing a little bit better than the Heat? Are the Sixers going to be able to even hang on here? You got the Sixers just a half a game ahead of the Magic and the Heat right now, and here come the Hornets, and here come the Hawks too. So what do you think here with the Heat and the Hornets tonight, right? You've got a Heat team still hanging in there, trying to hang on to this last playoff spot right now, but here come the Hornets, just 2 games back, and they're one of the hottest teams in the league. It's almost like you can almost ignore that 32-31 record with the Hornets right now. This hot streak has been so strong. It feels like they are a team that is more like if they had played like this all season, that would be more in the middle of the pack of the current playoff teams, almost the upper echelon of teams the way they're playing. So do you think they can get this number, though, here against a Miami team that, has some experience, has the desire to at least try to make this postseason? It seems like Miami's starting to turn it on here right now as well. Hey, everyone. High Point is getting steamed right now. in their matchup against Gardner-Webb. I really do think they're going to roll here, and this was going to be my play here, but let me see how high it goes to. It's going to 26.5. I'll hold off for now. High Point taking the steam against Gardner-Webb might move to the total there in that one. We already know it's a big spread, but okay. High Point just took some steam here right now on the morning steam show. There also was one more here that came in just a short time ago with St. John's and Seton Hall. It's a good game. We're not previewing it here, but we've seen Seton Hall playing pretty well here of late. Now, St. John's maybe still steaming. They looked good last game after that embarrassing game. Steam came in on the under with St. John's and Seton Hall down to 137. All right. Let's keep it rolling here right now, though, with this Heat and Hornets game. The Hornets come in here on a 6-game winning streak. They've covered 9 straight games. Miami, meanwhile, 6-2 straight up and against the spread in their last 8. Miami's also 6-2 against the spread in their last 8 against Charlotte, but that's an old Charlotte. That ain't the new Charlotte, it feels like. But again, Miami feels like they maybe woke up and felt the urgency here. They won and covered 3 straight. They beat Houston as a dog and then covered against Brooklyn. Brooklyn's terrible, but they're talking about, what did they say? The last these tank teams are they said something like the last 7 teams in the tankathon on the road are like 0-44 or something like that. Is that true? Well, this ain't in the tankathon. Miami. Miami is in the thick of things. In fact, Miami's won 3 straight meetings between these two teams, including a matchup last November, 126-108. Miami did get the win. Hey, Harvard and Columbia taking some steam here in the background. It was 134. It's down to 133, 132.5 here with Harvard and Columbia steam to the under here right now, just moments ago on the morning steam show. All right, let me hear from you, though, in the chat. What do you think here? Miami's gone over in 4 of their last 6. Charlotte's gone under in 4 of their last 5. 6 of the last 8 meetings have gone under. Charlotte, we think of them as a young club, maybe energetic, tempo maybe up, but not really. They're 9-21 to the under at home right now. Are the Charlotte Hornets? So this number is pretty big. It's only gone up here for a team like Charlotte that is a pretty solid under, man. And we're at 238 here in this one. Like I said, Miami here, it is 7, and they've played a little bit better here of late. They've had, streaky tendencies here of late, but I don't know. I think they realize now they've got to get on with this and give it their best shot to hang on. Norman Powell is out for the Heat. Jovic is questionable. Fontecchio is questionable as well. So we do have some issues here for the Heat. For the Hornets, Grant Williams is probable. Salon is out. Chat All-Stars here, ready to go. And, okay, there's my guy, Roman Anthony. I'm Ramon Anthony. He's Roman Anthony. Jordy here says, Hornets money line. Irish King, Charlotte's first quarter spread. JP Farley will take the points with the Heat. Here's Charlotte. Man, look at that, Andrew says. Robert here going to lay it, though, with the Hornets in this one. He likes the under here as well. And Steve going to go with this Charlotte team until it lets us down here a little bit. I'm concerned no Normie Powell, but, is Charlotte a great home favorite here? Yeah, they're 19-11 against the spread, but Miami's 19-12 as on the road, 18-11 as an underdog. It's kind of a good roll. Miami's, they did us so good early, and they have had some tailspin. So, all right, Hornets with the points for Big Crypto. Miami there. Terrell's doing the Robert Palmer right there. Okay, Kripke, Hornets haven't been favored against the Heat in forever. Heat on a roll. uh, 9 of the last, what is that, in the series or what? I think they're, because they did lose to Philly and they lost to Milwaukee. So I've got them at 7-3 in the last 10, but maybe in the series here. Greg says 116, 111 Charlotte. They're due for a letdown. Kane says, good morning. I'm going to take the under here with Miami and Charlotte. I've got the under here. Come on, Charlotte. Games are going under right now, and it's because Charlotte, they dictate what they want to dictate. Next up, we've got the big news here. Not only did Cooper Flagg return to action, and Miami, Dallas, they lost again. They lost again, but they did cover. They did cover that game against Orlando there last night. Now we got to see if Cooper Flagg, who just played a ton of minutes in that game, hey, it was a turned ankle, right? So I think he's probably going to play and probably play a lot of minutes, maybe a few more minutes off, but it's finally time for the debut of Jason Tatum here tonight. It's very exciting to have him join this team here right now, especially given the fact that, Boston, I don't know, we're going to be putting them down here as far as where they stand in the Eastern Conference. There's a lot to be determined. The Eastern Conference is going to be great come playoff. A lot of great playoff series, man. There's, OKC, but at least OKC has a nemesis in San Antonio and Denver. But will this help the Celtics big time? Of course it will. A lot of people talking about will we see the minutes restriction there for Jason Tatum? I would think that there could be a modest minutes restriction, but I don't think we're looking at the 12, 14, 15 minutes like some people were saying. If you're doing that, then you shouldn't be out there on the court. I mean, if he's going to play, he should be ready to go. Now, I'm not saying, 32, 30, anything like that. But 25 or more does seem palatable for someone who, certainly wants to get back out there and help this team go, because it's time to go right now. So it's very exciting here tonight, and Boston is a huge favorite. And we're in the tankathon as well with these guys. And Dallas is on the back-to-back here. Boston is rested after getting – well, let's face it, they got embarrassed by Charlotte. We said they're going to get caught here, not realizing what Charlotte is bringing to the table here right now. The Hornets. Is anybody out there taking any Hornets futures right now? I know that's been a hot topic of discussion all of a sudden on social media. So what do you think, though, here? The return of Tatum, it's 14.5 or so. It's definitely higher than this number here. In fact, DraftKings is up to 15.5. It's like, did we just wake up all of a sudden and see that Tatum was going to be in here? We've known for, days and days, it seems like right now, that this would be the spot. Total here, 223.5, 224. Still got to, consider some of these trends right now for Boston coming in here. They are 7-2 against the spread in their last 9 games overall. Dallas is just 2-9-1 against the spread in their last 12 games against Boston. And we've been talking about kind of the same fortunes of these franchises, even though that is about a 6-year sample size. That's the way these teams have been going. Maybe the Mavericks were a little bit better, of course, before they made some bad trades. But
final
6 of the last 8 meetings between these two teams have gone under. Dallas has gone under in 4 of 5, and Boston's gone under in 6 of 7. I think this one's going to fall into the tankathon, and I'm going to take the Celtics here. Of course I am. I'm all about the tankathon, and I'm going to lay 15, 50, whatever it takes. I'm going to lay it here with Boston tonight to roll over Dallas. Look, if you want to look at the total, I don't know what, maybe it's a premium, but let me just put these stats out there a little bit. We've just said that, Boston's under in 6 of 7. Dallas is under in 4 of 5. Boston's gone under 16-30 to the under as a favorite, 11-19 to the under at home. Dallas is 12-17 to the under on the road. So I think this one is way too high for given what we've seen, especially with a lot of these Boston games have finished. They only scored 89 against Charlotte. Now that's no problem against Boston. We know they can make it better. But even when they beat Milwaukee, they 108 to 81. They beat Milwaukee 114 to 98 over Philadelphia. Sure, they blew out Brooklyn, held them though to 111. The Denver game was 187. If anything, against better teams, maybe it is a lower score. So, all right, let's take a look in the chat here right now. Some steam just came in on the under in the Summit League game between Nebraska, Omaha, and South Dakota. Oh, good. Give me a little bit of a lower number. I'm ready to go back over in the Summit League. All right, let's see what you got here in this one. Okay. VAR, good morning to VAR. Good morning, R-Tops. VAR likes the over here in this one. Irish King, Boston team total over. Robert on the over. All right, obviously I'm not seeing it like the rest of you, although Greg's got it kind of more, at least a little more under maybe. JP Farley there. And Terrell says it's going to be, they're going to have to fit him in, find where it works, get the rotations down. Terrell says here it will be affected, that will affect the big spread and that the spread is higher. I'm just more still thinking that it doesn't matter because of the tankathon here a little bit. But got to give Dallas a little bit of credit for 2 covers in their last 3 games, despite the fact they can't beat anybody. 9 Legacy there, Hornets on the spread, and that other one here, Boston bounces back big time. 9 Legacy says Dallas on the spread. And Bar, I can't. Oh, Bar, no, come on. If you can get it back, you have to be ready here. I think Tatum has been what a comeback. When you can come back from this. Boy, the Achilles, I said on a show last night, I said, the Achilles injury is the new ACL, right? And you can fix a knee here in just a few weeks or a few months, but you know what I mean. All right, Jordy says Celtics money line and Tatum there for 15 points, according to Wine Time today. And let's see here. Crypto like in Boston here. And I think Big Crypto is saying actually he thinks he's going to take Boston. He's not calling out MMA Ashley here. All right, Steve on the under, R. Thompson on the under. Got a few people who are willing to buy into this under here, I think, with me. The 2 teams in their other meeting this season, it was 110 to 100. Boston got the win on the road as a 7.5-point favorite. So, but I'm going to take Boston here, but I'm going to be finding somewhere for the under here. Okay, let's keep it moving here right now. We're only on game number 3. We've got the Trailblazers taking on the Rockets in a playoff impactful game here with the Blazers trying their hardest to catch those teams in the Western Conference. Right now they're in 10th place. They're a game behind the Clippers for 9th, but more importantly, the Warriors are in 8th place, and the Warriors had that big upset yesterday over the Rockets. Man, the Warriors, when you can get an upset like that, that is big time. The Warriors are trying to hang on right now without Curry right now, and they've had their share of bad, awkward, tough games. Like it feels like they're going to blow it here, and the Clippers are going to pass them, or the Trailblazers. Here's the thing. The Suns are in 7th place, but they might be comfortable enough in that position. They've got a 3-game clearance of 8th place Warriors. We've talked about it for days here, and it feels like it's going to be either Warriors, Clippers, or Trailblazers for 1 spot. Let's see if that changes, but if not, let's go back and it doesn't take a genius, but let's see if it's those 3. So you do have the Trailblazers, an underdog here. They're going to be trying hard. This ain't no tankathon game because we've seen The Blazers have their share of moments. We've seen the Rockets. They don't look like a very clutch team, really, covering any numbers here right now. In fact, they're just 10-18 against the spread at home, 22-33 against the spread as a favorite, while the Trailblazers are actually 20-17 against the spread as an underdog. They do give you a solid effort, and I've said it here over the last few shows that the Trailblazers have been overachieved here. It feels like this year to stay alive this long. They're still hanging in there. I mean, they are in the race for the playoffs, a team that has not been very good here over the last couple of seasons since they've kind of had to get rid of that core nucleus. So Portland is just 3-6 straight up and against the spread. Their last 9 games, however, against the Houston Rockets. Houston, though, just 6-12 ATS in their last 18. They've won 4 of 6, but like I said, lost last night, and that was a third straight game that the Rockets were favored, and they did not cover, and they lost 2 of them. The only one they won was against Washington, and they didn't cover that one. So Portland here, though, comes in off of a win. Now, they were big favorites against Memphis, and they didn't cover. Before that, they had tough losses at Atlanta, at Charlotte, but we know how good those teams are playing. At least they were on the road, and they beat the Bulls, so took care of that one. And they also covered against Minnesota, who's one of the hottest teams right now in the West. So I think Portland's doing a pretty darn good job here right now. And the Rockets don't seem to be the type of team that is interested in kind of a blowout. Now, it's a short number. In Northern Illinois just got steamed against Akron. Just pass this one along. We're not previewing these games on the regular board, so we'll just keep you posted here. But they were getting 23.5. It's down to 22 here right now. Steam on Northern Illinois against Akron. All right, hey, give me the Portland Trailblazers here in this one against Houston. I'm going to grab these 6 points or so and take Portland here today. This total, by the way, 220. It's down here from an opener as high as 224 was the high opener here. And the way I'm looking at the totals-wise here, you got, it's an over team this season. They're 35-28 to the over, but they're 16-17 to the over, to the under as a dog, 15-17 to the under on the road. So this is where maybe their scoring gets a little off, but they've gone under in 12 of their last 16 games on the road, and that is a big trend for sure, especially for a team that is mostly over for the season. I mean, that is almost like a dead solid under in every single game on the road here of late. So I'm going to take Portland, though, as my play. Let's go to the chat all-stars here, and Rockets and over for Jordy. Our tops is on the over. Rockets for a double-digit win here for Terrell. Portland Moneyline for JP. Irish King says Houston first quarter on the spread. Greg says Houston in a bounce back. All right, you guys, let's keep it moving here right now. Next up, we've got a game in the Tankathon with the Pelicans taking on the Suns. Now, the spread's only 6 here, and we're in the Tankathon. So now New Orleans has played pretty well here of late. Maybe out of all the Tankathon teams, maybe they're not so much in the tank. New Orleans comes in here. DeJounte Murray is questionable for Phoenix. Mark Williams is out of this game. New Orleans comes in here off of a win last time out. They defeated Sacramento last night, 133-123. They got that win on the road. Hey, Murray State's taking some steam here right now against Illinois Chicago. Murray State was here a pick, but now they're up to about a 1.5 or 2 point favorite. Murray State taking the steam against Illinois Chicago in Arch Madness. All right, so New Orleans, beat the Kings last night on the road. Now, New Orleans, this is a back-to-back, and it's their 6th straight road game, so this has got to be a little bit tiresome here. They are playing well, no doubt. In fact, they beat Sacramento on this road trip, and they started, remember, with those 2 wins over Utah, okay? But when they played the Clippers and the Lakers, 2 teams that are kind of, playoff caliber teams, right? Lakers are in, Clippers are trying to get in, and the Suns are kind of getting. In fact, if you look at those teams in the Western Conference, they're all these three teams that I just mentioned are all jumbled up. The Clippers, the Suns, and the Lakers. Lakers 6th, Suns 7th, Clippers 9th. Now the Pelicans played the Lakers and the Clippers on the road just a little while ago, and those were the two games that got blown out. So I'm still a Suns guy. I still feel like I'm a Suns guy overall here. Now the Suns beat Sacramento. They beat the Lakers, but they were embarrassed last night. I have no excuses for it. I thought it was a sure tankathon game there over the Bulls, but the Bulls showed up and won, and that hurt. That hurt the Suns. Losing that game at home last night to the Bulls without Giddey. So I'm going to come back here on the Phoenix Suns here in the tankathon, and hopefully that this number here is 6 is just adjusted enough that the Suns can bounce back with a win. And I'm going to take them here in this one. We'll go to the chat All-Stars to see what you have to say here in this game. Phoenix is just 2-6 against the spread in their last 8 and 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 games at home. Meanwhile, New Orleans, supposedly, they're out of it. 5-2 straight up against the spread in their last 7 games overall. They've gone over in 6 of 9, and 12 of the last 18 meetings in this series have gone over. I would still kind of have my doubts because Phoenix is such a hardcore under at home. 11-21 to the under at home this season. All right, let's go to the chat All-Stars here. And Greg Gibson has Phoenix to bounce back here. JP is on the under. Irish King, Phoenix first quarter. 9 Legacy Rockets on the spread with the Pelicans, I think. And what does Trevor say? Hey, there's Trevor. And, thanks. I hope you're talking about my plays in there with the college ladies basketball there. But hopefully I might have to expand my menu today with the ladies in college ball. I think they're about to get underway actually here in a little bit, but coming up, Clemson and Duke, Butler and Georgetown, those games are starting at the top of the hour here. So started looking at the card. It goes pretty late today, so like to get to it all early stuff sometimes, but we are seeing some movement on the underdog with Clemson there against Duke. That's about all I see right now as far as the line movement's concerned. All right, Jordy says Suns on the money line. But in conference tournaments, I might want to be looking at a few games here today. Look, there's some hot games too, and league play with Oklahoma and LSU, Notre Dame and NC State today. Some hot games here. Okay, let's see what else we've got here. Let's continue on with our great NBA card. Look at this one with the Knicks taking on the Nuggets here in Denver tonight. For the Knicks, they come in here 40-23. Denver 39-24. We've got another hot one here. Now, the Nuggets currently are in 5th place, but they're tied with the Rockets. They trail percentage points, but they're pretty much basically tied, and that is a fine line right there. You want to get at least to 4th place. The Wolves have won 5 straight, so I'm kind of worried that they might get away from the Rockets and the Nuggets, and it'll be these two teams to battle it out and end up, not these two teams, but the Rockets and the Nuggets battling it out for 4th and 5th, and then those two teams will end up facing off against one another in the first round of the playoffs, and the Rockets could be at home. The home field advantage there against the Nuggets. We'll see. The Nuggets have won 2 in a row here right now with back-to-back wins over Utah and LA here right now. Nuggets still a solid 15-7 against the spread as an underdog this season. The Knicks are a good favorite, 29-23, but a lot of that's at home because they're 13-18 against the spread on the road. They certainly still have problems on the road. Yes, they've been playing better than ever, it feels like lately. They lost to OKC last time out, but they did cover for the 4th straight game after they had consecutive wins over Milwaukee, San Antonio, and Toronto here. So Yes, the Knicks are playing well. Yes, you're still going into a mile high here, and Denver did play last night. The Knicks did not. In fact, the Knicks might have been here before uh, Denver here after the Knicks after the Nuggets beat the Lakers last night, 120 to 113, uh, getting the win there in that late game. Oh, I'm sorry. Denver was at home. I knew I was messed up there. Nonetheless, it's a back-to-back for Denver, okay? Sorry about that, gang. I knew what I was talking about. That's why I was looking at the so I had to peek at the schedule yesterday. I'm like, what is that? Okay, so let's hear it from you here in this one with the Nuggets, with the Nuggets here hosting the Knicks. Now, I think if you look at just the way that Denver, they're 38 and 24 to the over this season, but that's mostly when Denver is kind of on the road a little bit because they're just 14 over, 14 under at home, and the Knicks are 14 and 17 to the under on the road. So I don't know. I kind of think it might be more of a low-scoring game, but when they played back in New York back in February, they had that wild 134-127 game in double overtime, but I believe it was an under there at the time. They, you got to add the let's see, 40 here was 213. So 213 there in regulation before the double overtime. There were 45 points scored there. So it was 216. Okay, so it was 216 after regulation in the game between the Nuggets and the Knicks at that time. I only point it out because I think this is more, to me, feels more like an under game to me than it does high score, even though, like I said, the Nuggets do kind of trend high here. So let's see what you've got here. I'm taking the Nuggets at home in this one as my pick here. Pennsylvania and Brown just took some steam to the over. It was 142, but we're up to 143.5 here right now, it looks like, with Penn and Brown steam to the over. Give you the Nuggets here in this one against the Knickerbockers, and let's see what you got. R. Thompson's on the Nuggets, Jordy's on the Nuggets, JP's on the over, Robert's on Denver. Greg says Knicks and the under here. Big Crypto likes the Nuggets to beat the Knicks. Should be close. Yeah, feels like a great game, right? Yeah, Terrell, right? I don't know if it's really been right because it doesn't make sense, Tankathon, right? But I know that one of the other shows that does they talk about the tanking. It's one of the shows I like to watch. Comes on right after the morning steam, pretty much on one of those big networks, and they call it something else. With the word tank in it. So I think I just ended up with this, but I don't think I've heard people going tank. They called it more, I think they call it, have you heard of that? I don't want to say their word, but remember that concert, Lollapalooza? I think remember the Lollapalooza? Just put the tank in front of it, which is pretty cool, but I'm not going to use someone else's nickname for it. Hey, Asheville. Cashville's getting steamed right now in their matchup against Longwood. Asheville here was a 1-point dog. They're looking to be a favorite here right now. Looks like Asheville's taking the steam against Longwood. Nuggets money line here for 9 Legacy. And maybe so, the thing about the Tankathon this year really is it's going longer than ever, it seems like. I mean, we've still got 20 games to go. The news is, actually, gang, let's see what Greg says. Denver might be tired from that Lakers game, and they might be drained here a little bit. And Irish King, looking at Denver, though. So now the solution for I don't know how they would. I don't know how they do it, or but. How about they take the Tankathon team? I call it the Tankathon team. They take the teams, the lottery teams, and those teams have to play a tournament, and you have to win the tournament to get the first round draft pick. So you take all the teams. Maybe they run it. I don't know if you do it. When would you do it? Would you do it concurrently with the playoffs, though, or could they turn it around and say, okay, once we get to this point of the season, or once you're eliminated, your win-loss, you once you're eliminated from the playoffs, whatever your win-loss record, whoever has the best win-loss record after they're eliminated, and then so the teams that actually have the worst record here, it still might be a race to the bottom. I don't know how they'll fix it, but the latest from the commissioner was, we'll make them play for the pick. But what are you going to do? Who's going to go out there? What if this guy's like, I'm the guy who's going to get fired here no matter what when they pick this guy, right? I'm like some number 9 guy on the bench playing the most minutes of my career, but I'm out of here once they draft this guy. So I don't know how they do that, but that was what the commissioner was saying. Make them play. The winner will get the picks. Okay, Denver money line here. Next up, you get it all here on the morning steam, don't you? Okay, Clippers and Spurs. Wow, oh, man, what a nice card here. The NBA's done a good job here. There's some good games. Clippers, winners of 3 straight. The Spurs, they're just crushing it here. But it was won these last 2 games here against Philly, against Detroit. Good wins there. Talked about where the Clippers stand. They need to keep winning. They're not in the playoffs. There's no guarantees. They could pass. It feels like they have the momentum that could take them past the Warriors, but that was a big win for the Warriors yesterday, so the Clippers got to work extra hard, and they're a big underdog here against the Spurs. Now, the Clippers are one of the hottest teams still in the league long-term here, actually, almost since the beginning of 2026. The Clippers now have covered 9 of their last 10 games overall. They've covered their last 5 straight on the road. Clippers have beaten the Spurs in 10 of the last 11 meetings between these 2 teams. Well, how about that? You could say the Clippers, they've been a decent team over the last few years. They haven't been great. We know the Spurs have been, kind of subpar, but have been growing. So no matter what happens, they're the Clippers, and the Clippers have been hot. They do play well here against the Spurs. Spurs have covered 11 of their last 14 games coming in. 10 of the last 15 meetings between these 2 teams have gone under. Spurs have gone under in 5 of 6. They're 11-17 to the under at home. You know how I feel about these Clippers games and these unders, I always want to, kind of consider it for sure, although these 2 teams have not yet met this season. They've gone over in both 2 of the meetings from last year. I think they went over in 3 of the 4 meetings last season overall, but I'm more interested sometimes in these Clipper games under, especially in this setting a little bit, where the Spurs are kind of the under team overall here. Let's hear from you in the chat. And this good one tonight. Can the Clippers do it? All right. And JP likes the Clippers here. And let's see, tough going against Wemby, man, and Wemby yesterday. I mean, what can you say about this guy? We said when we first met him, right? Boy, when this guy fills out a little bit, well, he's not even filled out yet, but he's getting bigger, he's getting stronger, and you don't need everyone to be Karl Malone out there, I guess. Hey, Seattle's taking the steam here right now in their matchup against the University of San Diego tonight. This is in our preview, but wow, they sent out Seattle at 7.5 here. It's up to 9.5 or 10 right now. Seattle to rock USD tonight. We'll preview it here. Hopefully, we'll get there soon enough. R. Thompson's on the over. 9 Legacy Clippers. Robert McCormick Clippers here. I'm on the Clippers with you guys. Let's take the Clippers here tonight to get this one done. Let's take them against the Spurs here. Look, Clippers are a strong cover, hard-trying team. Spurs could still win. And don't overlook the Spurs. I mean, they're still trying to catch the Thunder. But, they're going to get second place minimum. One more here, Pacers and Lakers tonight. Saw the Lakers with the loss there yesterday. Now they're back home. So looking to get, keep it going here. They're probably in, right? They're not going to blow this, but nonetheless, got to win games like this for sure. Indiana, this is one of those teams. They're not winning. They're not covering. They are totally mailing it in right now. So I'm just going to take the Lakers in the tankathon in this one. Lakers, are still solid numbers, 24-14 against the spread as a favorite. It is easy to just sit there and say the Lakers never cover, especially when they're favored, but that's just not true right now this season. Although they are just 15-15 against the spread at home, so that's okay, I get it. But Indiana 11-19 against the spread on the road, and the Lakers have covered 9 of the last 11 meetings. And remember, the Pacers have usually been pretty good. So maybe the Lakers in a bounce back here. I'm going to take them. I'm taking the Lakers in the tankathon against the Pacers here tonight. Lakers have gone under in 5 of their last 7. They've gone under in 5 of their last 6 at home. Indiana's gone over in 5 of their last 6 games overall. Pacers have gone 0-7 straight up and against the spread in their last 7 games, obviously. They've gone 2-8. ATS in their last 10. Here we go with Clippers. Sprinkle the money line for Greg. Jordy has the Spurs on the money line. 9 Legacy says Lakers for a blowout here. That's it for the NBA. Thank you, gang. Let's get to college basketball action. We got to go. We're just 100 minutes from tip-off here in a couple of games tonight. We're going to go over one game in each conference, and then we'll just touch on each conference too to let you know what's going on in those respective conferences. Let's go to the colleges tonight. Terrell, though, by the way, he said Lakers to cover. Lakers have been a great bounce-back team all season. I think there's drama with this Lakers team. Boy, too bad LeBron's a drama queen too, right? Okay, here we go. And, the whole thing with the Bus family. I mean, did anybody, remember I talked about that article about 3 or 4 weeks ago? Did anybody go read that article? And, this is someone who, I've been a casual observer of the Lakers program. Like I said, one of my best gambling customers back in the day was Jim Buss's personal driver. And so, on the occasions when I wasn't working, sometimes we got the freebies in the box there at the crypto. It was so long ago. I think it was with maybe the forum there for a while. But, it's always awkward. It's always awkward. But Jim Buss is cool. I mean, I know he was a terrible basketball executive, but if you talk to him, you think you know what he was doing. Maybe he was just a good BSer, and I like talking to him. Okay, let's go here now to the colleges tonight. And we're going to preview the first games of each conference. That's what we're going to do because of early action. That's what we want. How about this one with Bellarmine taking on Central Arkansas? Bellarmine comes in here, the number 8 seed. This one's in Jacksonville, Florida. Central Arkansas is the number 1 seed. They're favored here by. Hey, real quick, before we get into this one, we got some steam coming in here with Gardner Webb and High Point. Why not? I mean, you'd think that with High Point and Gardner, you think High Point's going to score a bunch of points. Steam, we said the High Point just got steamed. Now the under's getting steamed. Okay, I stand corrected here. Under steam here, it was 159. It's all the way down to 157, maybe even 156.5. Big time steam right there. We're going to talk about that game in just a second. Both teams come in here off of consecutive wins. Bellarmine with a win over P, and then they beat Jacksonville yesterday in the tournament opener. The way things are going here in the A-Sun. They are running a full-on bracket here. So Bellarmine beat Jacksonville yesterday to get in this spot. They were the 8th seed. Florida Gulf Coast beat North Alabama. They're playing Gulf Coast. The only upset was Stetson over Eastern Kentucky. They'll play P, and West Georgia beat North Florida. They'll play Queens. So 4 consecutive games here in Jacksonville, Florida. This is the first one of the night. Central Arkansas coming in here off consecutive wins over Austin P and Queens. They get the bye to this spot. Central Arkansas is 11-5 against the spread as a favorite, but Bellarmine is 13-6 against the spread as a dog. Both teams are good covers this season. Bellarmine 19-10 ATS, Central Arkansas 18-11 ATS. The 2 meetings this season, both the teams won on their home floors. Central Arkansas won at home 84-78, but they did not cover 8.5. Bellarmine won at home 84-78. They were actually a 2.5-point dog in that one. Of course, Central Arkansas, like I said, is a number 1 seed here. The current line there at 5.5 is a little stale. I'm showing it to 6.5 or 7 here right now, actually. I kind of like Central Arkansas, and you know what? I think I'm going to just take it here on the show because this game has seemingly gone up here big time, and I think they will hammer Bellarmine here in this one. I've seen a lot of the talking heads here on these stations with the over here. I'm going to throw them some respect here, actually, but I just like the reasoning that everyone's been giving about the over here, and I thought the steam kind of came in on the over, but it looks like it's going down here to 154. I'm actually skeptical, but I kind of was convinced and talked into it a little bit, I think, with the over. Bellarmine is 19-10 to the over overall, and they're 13-6 to the over as an underdog, so I thought maybe that would be the right call. Both meetings did go over as well here. It just looked like the sharp money is coming in on the under. And, we've seen some unders here on a lot of these conference tournaments games already. But let me just go with Central Arkansas. I'm going to lay a big number here all the way up to 7. There's definitely some tax here, it feels like. Go to the chat and see what you got here with – oops. Then Robert likes the under here. Twisted says Central Arkansas and over. And Twisted likes that under steam on High Point. Greg has it here 80-75 in favor of Central Arkansas. And that's where Scottie Pippen went to school. Hey, Robert McCormick here liking Bellarmine, but Barr is on Central Arkansas, and there is a D. He's mad about the game there yesterday, but don't sweat it, AOD. That was a tough one. Okay. Let's see. Take the point, says Greg, but Terrell's with me on Central Arkansas. Oh, man, AOD is mad. AOD, don't worry, okay? That was a tough game, and good things are still to come, okay? The Spurs are great, and everything's on target, okay? Everything's on point with the Pistons, okay? Flea Mathis is here. Yeah, AOD said that's so tough. That would have been a nice win. That's why you're mad, because that would have been a good game to win. Okay, I think that's it for this one. Let's keep it going here in college. We got a lot of games to look at, so we got to go fast, I think. Gardner Webb and High Point. A lot to talk about here, I guess, all of a sudden, huh? Just scanning here to see, it is trade deadline day in the NHL, so kind of keeping my eye open here. NHL, they wake up late in the NHL. We know that, but we'll see if we get any trades here while we're on the air. And does anybody know why the NHL players wake up later than anybody else? I don't know if that's true. Okay, so we've already had steam here. High Point's up to 27 right now. The total here is all the way down to 156. Wow. That's just saying something too, though, because we know that High Point Let's go over the numbers here a little bit with these clubs. But the steam is in on High Point. The steam is in on the under here. High Point comes in 27-4. Gardner Webb is 4-28. But look, we talked about Gardner Webb last game and how they've been an incredible cover this season, or down the stretch here. Losing all those games, they've always been getting enough points, and they're just I don't want to say well coached. I mean, you're 4-28. But when you've been covering like Gardner Webb has, now granted, there is a big difference between these clubs right now. High Point is not a great cover, but I mean, they are rolling teams left and right and in conference play. It's really no problem. We're in the Big South here. And let me tell you, Gardner Webb, they are the number 9 seed. They beat Upstate yesterday, 65-64 in the 8-9 game. Now there's 4 games today here in the quarterfinals. After this, it'll be Charleston Southern and Winthrop, Longwood and Asheville. I have the under in the Longwood-Asheville game, and Presby and Radford. So this one starts it off. High Point's failed to cover in each of their last 2 games. They're often guilty of laying too many points. They failed against Gardner Webb already in a game where they beat them 112-87, and that was at Gardner Webb back on February 14th. The other meeting this season was 104-49 in favor of High Point, and that was at home. So they've outscored them this season 216-136 in 2 games, but they did not cover in that last game. Gardner Webb continues to be a bit of a fuss and are able to cover the spread. Now they're going to have to score a lot of points, it feels like, to cover in this one. I don't know what's going on with that steam to the under, actually. High Point scored, almost 100. What's the average? 108 average in the 2 games. And it's not like, it's a one-time thing this year. Last year, High Point scored against them 85 and 90. And the year before, they scored 96 on them. So they always score upwards of 85 or more here right now. So maybe High Point doesn't go off on these guys today, but it doesn't seem like that would be the case. It seems like they should rip them a new one. But like I said, High Point has been getting the money, so maybe realistically, what could happen in this game? Like I said, I think it feels like more of an over to me. High Point is 19-19 to the over. Look, Gardner Webb is 16-12 to the over as a dog, so I think that kind of points to more of an over here in this one. So what would the score be here? 95-65? Is that realistic? 95-65 is High Point and over. And I think that's what I want to, what I kind of want to do. But maybe, just maybe, with this Gardner Webb cover streak, let's see how many it is now. And maybe the neutral site will help them here a little bit, get inside there and be able to get the money. And to see what you guys think about that, because, they're on a roll here, actually. Gardner Webb covering the number. They're 8-0 in the last 8 games, despite the fact that they've lost 9 of their last 10. Now, the Gardner Webb is just 1-6 ATS in those last 7 meetings. It was the last game. They had lost 6 straight, getting blown out in all these games. And those games I mentioned was 85-64, 90-67, 96-55. These are the matchups over the last few years between these lopsided programs. So does High Point do it again today? Or, hey, Gardner Webb played last night. High Point's on a long winning streak, but have failed to cover in 4 of their last 6. 5 of the last 6 meetings between the 2 teams actually have gone under because the total has been so high. But this year, actually the 104-49 wasn't under because High Point scored 49 points, because Gardner Webb scored 49 points. So maybe a little bit tough there on the total, but let's see what you guys think of this one. How interesting is this, huh? Okay, here we go. 26 is way too many, says Redbeard. Twisted said this one opened 161. Now look at us. Right? I mean, you're only getting a huge discount, in my opinion, on this total. I mean, how do you not go over here? Yes, your web a little bit under when they're on the road, but that's, I think, in other gyms here, I think. Okay, let's see here. High point too many. Robert liking the over here. Irish King is on. A Belmont team total over. Redbeard says over is the only play. Hello to Redbeard. Zoe's here. Gonna have some great comments, I bet, coming up. Twisted also went over in Asheville. All right, I'm going over in this one between Gardner Webb and High Point. Okay, let's keep it moving here right now. We got lots of games to go. Next up, Drake and Belmont. Gonna kick things off here in Arch Madness. Now, look, talking about Arch Madness, you're talking totals, right? You're talking totals because this is where this has been going on right now with this incredible streak here at this tournament. All these unders here so far. It's already 3-0. And it's been a pretty solid trend here as well with all of these trends, with all these unders. So, what do we got? Some steam in the background here. Oh, a women's game, you guys. Let's be interested in this here, maybe. Women's steam here coming in the game between Kentucky and South Carolina. This is a noontime start, and you guys, this one's wild here. It's dipped all the way down to 129.5 here right now. Is that? Oh gosh, is there really this big of a discrepancy right now? Am I going to middle this game somehow? Right now on the air, I'm going to throw a couple hundred down on each side because I just gotta. I don't trust the steam here. Actually, stand by. Okay, here we go. Kentucky and South Carolina. It's 137.5 here. Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna quote that steam. That looks wrong. Okay. Anyways, here I'm talking about the action here in Arch Madness. So all these games are going under. This one's already gotten steam to the under as well. Let's see here. Currently, Belmont at 11. They're up to 13. Belmont's up to 13 right now. They're going to crush Drake probably in this one. The total here, 152, 151.5 here. This one's only gone lower. This is as high as the total. Right here you have a conference that is going all unders, and here you have a total of 151.5. Now, okay, I get it. You could have an over because you got Belmont here. They could put it one over on Drake, but still, I mean, you got to have two to tango here right now. Drake is coming in off the win over SIU, 67-63. Belmont lies in wait for this game. Let me get to it here. I want to quote the standings here in Arch Madness. I mean, quote the bracket anyway. Okay, have I lost the... Okay, here we go. Just have to go to... Okay, here we go. I don't know what happened here. Okay. Drake got the win over Southern Illinois, take on number one seeded Belmont here. Murray State and Illinois Chicago, they got buys here into the quarterfinals. Indiana State was a loser against Valpo. So Valpo plays Bradley, and Northern Iowa beat Evansville. Northern Iowa plays Illinois State here in Arch Madness. I'm going to go under here in this one. I mean, look, I might be just playing it like everybody else here. And yes, Belmont is totally an over team right now. They're 17-10 to the over as a favorite, but Drake has been team this year too, 17-13, but 10-10 overs and unders as an underdog. So I'm going to take the under here in this one with Drake and Belmont. I just kind of want to ride this trend in the highest total of the day. It might be the highest total of the day for a reason, because of Belmont and their great shooting, especially on the inside. They're a top 20 scoring team inside the paint, especially in conference play. But these two teams, it was 103-90 when they did play back in February, should be noted. And they did go over in the January meeting 78-76 here. But previously last year, it was 57-50 and 65-46. So yes, Drake is not very good right now. The steam did come in on Drake a little bit, but it's still 13 here already. So the money went right back into Belmont. I'm just going to take the under, and if I look like a fool in the end, that's okay. Here we go with, hope I got everybody's picking here. Roberts on Belmont. Here's Irish King, Belmont, team total over. Roberts also on the under today. Twisted got that good price there and likes the value there now. Also, hello to the Solution here today joining us. Good to always see the Solution there. All right, that's there. I'm going to just take the under here in this one. And look, I might just go under in all four games and just see if this trend keeps going a little bit. I want to take every game into consideration. This would probably be the only game where you'd think, look, they just scored 193 in their last game, and that was just about a month ago. But I'm going to try the under here. There could be something. They play this thing in the same arena every year. Last 4 years, it's been all unders. Next up, Northeastern taking on North Carolina A&T here right now. And you've got A&T favored in this one by 1. Total 152 now. This one's gone down as well. Now, if you look at these teams in general, I think you would think them as over teams. Not comparing it to the last conference game here, but to me, I just see the action here from the sharps. It feels like the steam came in on the under here. There's no doubt that these are kind of over teams, but I'm kind of thinking the sharp bettors might be right here. These teams are combined 33-23 to the over this season, and Northeastern is 14-8 to the over as an underdog. But North Carolina A&T, when they're not a huge underdog, they do play lower scoring games here. This is a closely rated game. And look, North Carolina A&T is 16-11 against the spread. Northeastern's 10-19 against the spread. It's been a dismal time. They're 6-23. Well, really one of the worst records in the league overall. Talking about the Eastern Huskies here. So let's see what you have in this one with Northeastern taking on NCA&T. Northeastern's dropped here a big time losing streak right now. They're 1-11 against the spread in their last 12 games. Lost 12 straight conference games as well. North Carolina and T's nothing special. The Aggies are just 2-8 straight up in their last 10 here right now. But 5 of the last 6 games for North Carolina A&T have gone over, but Northeastern has been going under here right now. I think this one's an under. I think I trust the betting pattern here than just saying that, hey, both teams have been kind of going over this year. I'm going to take the under in this one with Northeastern and NC State and North Carolina A&T at 152. All right, here we go. Twisted likes Queens and Greensboro today. Robert's on the under with me here. Oh, great, Fernando. Wow, thank you for the update, Fernando.
Play.
See if I can just goes to show you, right? I don't want to say anything about Mr. Brooks here, and I see Fernando talking about the news that came out here within the last hour, apparently, that arrested here this morning. But the players who take a lot of injury, like, okay, we have the people who are who are injured, right? Legitimately injured, but we have those guys with the quote unquote illness. I'm not going to say which one of, I don't know which ones are, but you know what? I don't feel so good today because for some reason I woke up that well. Well, we've all worked with those kind of guys, those kind of people, right? Robert's on the Aggies here in this one. He'll take A&T. All right. I agree with Robert, I think, and I like the under. Let's keep it going here right now with VMI and Greensboro action in the Southern Conference here with VMI taking on Greensboro. Okay, the Southern is a standard bracket here, and this is actually the first round. So the winner of this game will play number 2 seed Wofford. Also today will be Chattanooga and Citadel. I like the under in that one with Citadel and Chattanooga, by the way. But we're previewing this one here with the VMI taking on Greensboro here at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. In this one, this is the second game at the Southern Conference tournament here in Asheville. VMI comes in here with a record of 6-25. Greensboro's 13-18. Greensboro coming in here off of a loss to Samford. They did beat Chattanooga before that. They're not great here, 2-6 against the spread as a favorite, 10-16 against the spread overall. But VMI's 9-19 against the spread this season, 8-17 against the spread as an underdog. It's actually a better percentage than Greensboro, but as a favorite. But here Greensboro favored by 7.5, total 155. These two teams met back in February, and Greensboro won it at home, 92-71, covering 8.5. Greensboro also won in January, 85-76 on the road. They won it by 7, 165 number there. Greensboro's 21-8 to the over this season, although just 3-5 to the under as a favorite. So, yeah, you know what? When they've been involved in some of those dog rolls and they're a subpar team, they ended up, giving up more points. But I think here against Greensboro, this against VMI, I think this one points more to the under here in this one. I know the trends was, Greensboro is a big-time over team, but I don't think that's what's going to happen here. Let me see. Both meetings, though, did go over here. Oh, man, help me out. Let me see what this steam was. Oh, it's the Celtics, you guys. The Celtics are getting steamed here right now. We said, when the word comes out, we didn't believe he wasn't going to play. So the Celtics are up to 15.5 now against Mavericks here, taking the steam right now. All right, well, let's see what you got, though, in this one. Is this one where they just force this pace and make it go up a little bit? Let me go to the chat before I make the play here with VMI and Greensboro here in Asheville. Twisted's on Greensboro, Robert's on the under. And let's see here. Okay, he's got Greensboro here minus 7.5. And Twisted liking the over. All right, I'm about to make my call here on this one. I don't want to be wrong on that, but man, there's a lot of pressure to the under here in this one. I'm gonna fade this move. I'm actually gonna go over in this one. Give me the over. Probably should take Greensboro if I'm taking the over, right? I mean, let's go with the double play. Let's do the parlay in this one. This is gonna be the parlay. Give me Greensboro and the over for the parlay here in the first round. Okay, got my parlay out there. Next up. Sacred Heart and I think I messed up the times. Oh, I hate when I do that. Okay. This one's at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific. with Sacred Heart and Mercyhurst. Sorry about that. Okay, for Sacred Heart here, they come in 14 and let's see here. Not Mercyhurst, right? It's Merrimack. That's what the problem is. Okay, no wonder I put it in the wrong spot. Okay, at least my notes were right. Okay, for Seton Hall here, they are 14 and 18 coming in. Merrimack 21 and 10. Take a look here at the action in the MAAC right now. And this is the 9-1 game. Sacred Heart beat Iona yesterday, 91-80. Got me on that one. They'll play the winner of Quinnipiac and Marist. On the other side, Fairfield beat Manhattan to advance to play St. Pete's, and Siena will play Mount St. Mary's. For Sacred Heart here, a nice win there yesterday. They were an underdog in that game by 2.5, beat Iona. They also beat Mount St. Mary's before that. Sacred Heart is 9-7 against the spread as an underdog. Merrimack 10-5 against the spread as a favorite. They're also 19-12 against the spread. Merrimack has failed to cover in 3 straight, but they did have a strong finish. Beat Iona, beat Niagara, did lose to Canisius. They just didn't cover a couple of games as a favorite there. They're still a pretty terrific cover. Merrimack is 12-18 to the under this season. Merrimack 6-9 to the under as a favorite, and Sacred Heart 7-9 to the under as an underdog. So got the line here at 6.5, and the total in this one 146, with Merrimack favored here in Atlantic City. This one, like I said, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific. It's actually 9. It's 8.5 or 9 now. It's down to 141. Oh my goodness! That goes to show you how long ago I typed these in. I was watching the late game there last night. We'll call it 8.5, and the total 141, and maybe we'll call it 141.5. But what a move here! It's a move for sure. That's no typo. All right, what are you going to do here, man? This thing's gotten away a little bit, it feels like, and this total is so much lower here right now. Really? I'm going to fade this. I'm going to be fading this here for sure. I get it. Okay. But they met back in February. It was 75-58. Merrimack got the win by 17 as a 5.5 point favorite. And the meeting in December was won by Merrimack on the road, 80-72 as a 1.5 point dog. That one went over at 152. So let's see here. What's going on with this move? This thing opened as high as 140. What do we say? 146 there? Are you sure that wasn't a typo? All right, before I get too excited here, let's just call it what it is: 8.5 and 141.5. And let me hear from you in the chat. Maybe you guys can help me out if I got it wrong here. And let's take a look. For Sacred Heart, they come in here having won 4 of their last 6. They've covered 5 of their last 6 overall. Sacred Heart just 1-4 straight up, 3-6 against the spread. Last 9 against Merrimack. Merrimack's covered 13 of their last 18. They've won 9 of 10 overall. 4 of the last 5 meetings between the two teams have gone under, including that last meeting. Merrimack's gone over in 4 of its last 6 games here right now. So let's see what you got here in this one with Sacred Heart and Merrimack. Help me out. Okay, we've got here Robert on Merrimack here. Hey, Twisted like in VCU and Presby there today. Solution like Sacred Heart. And Twisted. Oh, what's Twisted doing there? All right, here. I got to make my call here on this one with Sacred Heart and Merrimack. Let me run it through the processor here again with this line move. I think I might have had either the wrong data and, I've been called the wrong data. All right, here we go. Okay. All right, give me up. We're gonna go this under pressure. Okay, so it opened. Parks opened this up at 147.5. The thing is, this total just keeps getting stronger as it goes longer here right now. I don't know if I can get behind it at all. All right, give me Sacred Heart in this one. I'm taking Sacred Heart. I know this is a mismatch. Something's going on here. I'm just going to take Sacred Heart plus 8.5. Georgia Southern and South Alabama here in the Sun Belt, ladder bracket here, right? So we finally had a team win 2 in a row. It was Georgia Southern. They beat or win one, and hold on. Got some steam here in the background. Charleston Southern and Winthrop. Steam to the over here in this one with Charleston Southern and Winthrop in the Big South. It was 162.5, but this thing is all the way up now to 165. Charleston Southern and Winthrop. Wow. Okay, so Georgia Southern became the first team to win 2 games in the tournament. They beat Old Dominion, then they beat Arkansas State to get here into the 4th round of the tournament. Remember, Troy and Marshall aren't even here yet. They won't even get here until Saturday for the Sunday game. This tournament's going on all week with this crazy ladder here. Let's see what you have here. I think this total has gone down, by the way. Let me take a look at this. Georgia Southern and South Alabama. 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific time. It's 5.5 and 146.5 right now in this one. All right, so let's bump up South Alabama to 5.5. You're always going to have a little bit more movement on the tournament lines, and that might give you the opportunity you're looking for. Okay, this one's at 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific, right? So we're back on. I got my times fixed here a little bit. Georgia Southern comes in here on a 3-game winning streak. Won these 2 tournament games. They're 18-15. South Alabama did end the regular season with a loss to Southern Mississippi, but they beat Troy. South Alabama is 16-13 against the spread, just 6-9 against the spread as a favorite. But Georgia Southern, 13-18 against the spread, 6-9 against the spread as a favorite here. So, yeah, you know what? USA did win both regular season games, the only regular season game between the two this year in the crazy Sun Belt. 87-71 at home. They were only a 1.5-point favorite in that one. That was back in January. So you can see what has happened here, maybe a little bit too. Georgia Southern here, not only were they not covering, but as an underdog, they rarely were able to pull off an upset. I think they were 5-10 against straight up as a dog. All right, let's see here. Go to the chat in this one. Georgia Southern here taking on South Alabama, and we're in Pensacola, Florida for the Sun Belt. Georgia Southern has gone just 7-13 against the spread, the last 20 against South Alabama. Georgia Southern just 4-12 against the spread, their last 16. South Alabama's covered 6 of their last 8. Also, 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams have gone under. That steam did come in on the under. I mean, that's kind of the way USA plays it. There are 5-9 to the under as a favorite. Meanwhile, though, Georgia Southern 9-16 as a dog. Let's see what you've got here in this one. Robert's on USA. He's on the under. He might be the only one here commenting on this game. I'm going to take you with Robert. I'm going to go with USA here with -5.5 and lay that. A little bit of tax there, feels like, paying for USA here. All right, we got to keep it moving here right now with a lot of games still. Let's go to the Summit. And look, they went under yesterday in the Summit, but I'm not so sure that's going to be the case today. Anybody who's been following the season, or even with me here talking about the Summit a little bit, it's funny hear everyone talking about how goopy the name, right? Listen to some of the talking heads out there, and I'm not any better than the next guy. I'm just a cocky son of a gun, right? But when you hear them start to make fun of the names, like, I didn't even know Lipscomb was a team, or Queens, are they in New York or are they in Carolina? What are we doing here? I mean, we've been on these teams for years, and that's why you're watching the morning steam. So Denver and North Dakota, we know what goes on with Denver. I mean, these guys have been scoring these high totals all year. Denver 20-8 to the over. Remember when they were like 15-0 to the over or whatever it was? Well, they've calmed down a little bit, but still 8-3 to the over as a favorite. North Dakota, though, they're 11-8 to the over as an underdog. North Dakota comes in here off of a loss to North Dakota State in the season finale. They were 11.5-point dogs. They got blowed out in that one. They did cover in a loss to South Dakota State. They beat Missouri, Kansas City. Denver comes in here off of a 102-80 loss to Oral. Of course they did. And, they've been going under more so of late. I think that it was only because they've actually, I don't know if I'd say they improved of late, but they were winning some games. Maybe they're calming down a little bit, playing a little bit more defense. But this total here right now, let me see what's going on here all of a sudden. Denver -3. And the total here is down to 158.5. I don't get it. Maybe I'll throw caution to the wind or something, but I spelled North Dakota wrong in there. Sorry about that. My apologies to all great North Dakotans. So I'm not sure I understand really what's going. To me, this is the opponent that it should be a big time over. Now they met back in February. It went to 177 points. The meeting in January was 179 points, and both games did go well over earlier this season. So I don't know. Maybe I'll just look at the side here in this one. Let me know what you have here with Denver and North Dakota State. Not going to say that it's not going to be an over, but Denver has gone under in 4 of their last 5 games. North Dakota's gone over in 11 of 15. But if you want the tiebreaker, how about this? 15 of the last 16 games between these two teams have gone over. So I'll leave it to you guys. It's too easy. It's too easy. It feels like I like the over in the other. I like the over in Nebraska, Omaha, and South Dakota. Okay, I'm going to give out the over there in that one for sure. I think I'm actually going to go to the side here in this one with North Dakota and Denver. North Dakota's 8-3 against the spread in their last 11 games. Overall, Denver is 5-2 straight up and against the spread in their last 7 games coming into this one. So let me hear from you in the chat. See if you guys agree with what I'm saying, or do you have your own opinions of this one? Look, the sharps are on the under here, and that's great for a square like me that wants to go over. We do have a little bit of breaking news here right now. I don't know if it's tremendously big news here. But
Steam play.
The Raiders will be releasing Geno Smith. Surprise, surprise, unless they could trade him here. But they'll release Smith and get $8 million in salary cap space. So, all right, here's a little steam in the background. Central Florida and West Virginia. Steam to the under here in this one between Central Florida and West Virginia. Central Florida always goes over in that role, but those two teams are kind of under teams for sure this season, especially West Virginia, I think, right? Steam to the under, it was 141.5. It's down to 139.5 here right now with Central Florida and West Virginia. Steam to the under. Okay, so hey, I got to make my call here now. Like I said, I'm not giving it away necessarily. If you guys want to take the under here, because that's the way it's moving, I'll tell you what. These are the type of moves that usually win. I just can't get behind it right now. The way I've watched this Denver team and against this particular North Dakota squad, I just think that's what I kind of prefer there. All right. See what you guys have here in the chat. North Dakota here for Robert. And hey, Big Crypto chiming in. He likes he likes the over in the Valpo game today. All right. All right, no more dilly-dallying around. I'm going to have to – the thing is look, if we don't go with the over here, I don't know what we have to prove in the game there, but I kind of want to take the side here because I'm not sure I like it as much, and I might need a premium somewhere. So I think I'm going to take North Dakota here, getting a couple of points. 3.5. Give me North Dakota in this one. Hey, Stop Geos here. All right. Hey, we're making good progress. We're almost done with the basketball. Southeast Missouri and Moorhead here in this one. We're going out to the Ohio Valley right now. And, the Ohio Valley, they play kind of a ladder tournament as well. We're down here to the semifinals with number 2, Moorhead. Number 3, Southeast Missouri. What do you know? The top 4 seeds are in the semifinals. It worked out. Moorhead comes in here. They're an underdog in this game to Southeast Missouri. Southeast Missouri just won last night, 68-66. They beat Lindenwood. Good win. They only won by 2, and now you're going to come in here and be up against this Moorhead team as a favorite. I don't what am I missing here? Look, Moorhead's been great. Southeast Missouri's been fine, but does seem a little bit peculiar anyway. Line here 2.5 down to 140.5 here. We've definitely seen a pretty sharp move to the under here. And probably would endorse that, but let me talk a little bit from this perspective anyway. With SEMO coming in here, they are 20-12. Moorhead is 19-12. So I just thought that SEMO kind of struggled there last night, and Moorhead comes in here 10-8 as an underdog this season, 17-11. Against the spread. SEMO did win at home 82-70, covering 8.5, but Moorhead won at home 71-69. They were a 5.5 point dog in that one. So I don't know. SEMO hasn't been necessarily a disappointment, but they are just 14-15 against the spread overall. SEMO's 9-12 to the under as a favorite, and Moorhead's 10-8 to the over as a dog. Let's see what you got, though, here in this one. This one's at 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific. This one's being played in Evansville, Indiana, the Ohio Valley tournament here. SEMO and Moorhead. And I'm going to go to the chat and see what you guys have here. The other game is Tennessee Martin and Tennessee State. That's the 1-4 game. Here in the Ohio Valley, and in that one I like the under actually in that other game. All right, and here in this one with SEMO and more, let me go to the chat first. Okay, let's see here, and we got our Tom's here. I'm going to try to say it because I love my high school sports here. Congratulations to the Pascagoula. I want to say congratulations to the Pascagoula High School basketball team there winning the state championship. Congratulations to Pascagoula High. Hope I said that right. What's the nickname of Pascagoula High? Southeast Missouri here for Robert. AOD is going to take Moorhead in this one. I'm going to take the under here between Southeast Missouri and Moorhead. I've got under in both games there, huh? All right. One more here tonight. It's going to be, this one, I really don't even have, I'm going to wing it kind of on this one because the steam came in on Seattle. The line wasn't even out when I was kind of typing the lines in and everything. This was kind of a late game. And then got to admit, that baseball game got a little boring. I might even grabbed a nap in there somewhere after it was 13-0. So you got Seattle here, winners of 3 straight. They have not played yet their tournament game. They had wins over Portland, Pepperdine, and LMU. USD comes in here off of a win, 86-82 last night. To end a losing streak and to give Lavin one last win here, it feels like. But, Seattle's kind of a crummy favorite, and now they're up to 10. San Diego played pretty well. 10 and 140.5 here. Let me make sure that's the line. Could be down to 139 here in this one. There we go. I think this line's a little high. I mean, Seattle's been good, but they're not great covers. 7 and 12 as a favorite. Yeah, USD's had their struggles here and maybe a little bit of letdown here. But you know what? You have a team playing hard, maybe for their coach a little bit. That's where I might be looking here at this one. But look, at 139, maybe the safer bet might be the under, but I'm going to take USD. I'm going to root for them here a little bit. My Toreros steam came in on Seattle. Looks a little high now for me at 10. The two teams did meet in January, 75-64. Seattle won at home. They did cover 9.5 in that one, but that was on their home floor. They won by only 11. Now you want to cover on a neutral here in Las Vegas in this one. Look, I'm not saying, Seattle's in this conference now, been there, done that. San Diego's been in this conference a number of years. And I think they'll play for Lavin here. I'm going to take them here in this one, but I think you can probably look for a premium here on the under possibly in that game. All right, that's it for college basketball there. The Pascagoula Panthers, of course they are. Robert likes the under here as well. I think we can see that one coming. Yeah, Seattle's gotten the action of the Sharps here, but I'm not into it, I don't think, tonight. Let's go to hockey and make it quick, huh? A good card, but we actually kicking 2 games out because they involve some teams that probably ain't going to the playoffs. So we're going to have like a 5 games here on hockey. Oh, our Thompson went under in that game with us there on the USD. Okay, here we go. Hockey, we're going to make it quick. Florida and Detroit tonight. It's a good card, but like I said, a couple games where teams got a couple of also-rans in here. All right, for the Panthers here, coming in, taking on Detroit. Now the Panthers are toast here. I've given up. I hung on a long time, but there goes $60 down the drain. What was I even thinking? That was way back at the beginning of the season. Oh, well. Should have saw it coming. We knew they had the injuries. I thought they would get healthy, and I thought they would, kind of get it going there a little bit, but they did not. So we got the Red Wings here, favored in this one. Detroit's lost 5 straight on the road. Florida's lost 5 straight on the road. Florida's actually won 13 of the last 17 meetings, but, come on. The way it's going right now, Florida is just looking bad. They've lost 4 straight games here. Again, right now, Detroit is coming in off of a loss over BGK. Florida lost last night to Columbus for another loss. Detroit has recent wins over Nashville and Utah. They're 2-2 out of the break so far. They're still 18-10 at home. Florida's a great underdog this season, 11-6, but they just seem to be lost here right now. 7 of the last 8 meetings between these two teams have gone over. This, despite the fact that Florida is a bit of an over team this season, 19-10 to the over on the road, but Detroit is 10-17 to the under as a favorite. So Florida's gone over in 9 of their last 13, but Detroit's gone under in 5 of their last 7. I'm just going to have to take Detroit here to win this one over Florida. Florida played last night. They're not showing any life right now. See if Gibson is in. He was injured there for one game, I think, and then might have been just his regular night off to get healthy here. But he is, I think, expected to be in goal. Yeah, he's likely. Gibson here, he exited Monday's 4-2 win over Nashville in the first intermission due to an upper body injury and did not suit up against the Knights on Wednesday, but he was back at practice on Thursday and will be in here tonight. 19-5-1 in his last 26 with a 2.06 goals against and a 92.5% save percentage. So he's doing well here. He's found his place, and I'm happy for Gibby. I'll take the Red Wings here tonight. Panthers money line for Kane is hi Kane. There's Robert on the Red Wings. JP likes Detroit, and R. Tomps is on the under. Hope we're not going too fast. We got to go here. We've got right now underway, by the way, right? We already called it with our play here in the World Baseball Classic. Hopefully you're on it here with Cuba and Panama, right? We're on Cuba here. We're watching Cuba, having some food, having some pizza. What did Spicoli say? Learning about Cuba. Learning about Cuba, Mr. Hand. And so Cuba in the under is what I'm on in this game. And then in the game that starts next, remember, is I've got Venezuela and the over in the game. The Venezuela minus 2.5 and over. And we've got Cuba here minus 1.5 against Panama. And I think we'll have a package possibly for some of the later games here. I'm not sure about Mexico and Great Britain. I may have if I send that one out, it might be on the free pick here, but we are seeing some steam to the over in that game right now, I think. Okay, let's keep it moving here right now, though, and hey, let's, why isn't that game on here? Oh, because I had the ESPN golf on, and I thought I had the Fox, but we need the World Baseball Classic. On here right now, right? Okay. Okay. Anyways, here, let me keep it going, though. Avalanche taking on the Stars here in this one. How about it? There we go. Man, this is a great game here. A big game, important game, and the Stars are hotter than ever right now. And you got to wonder, are they, do they have enough to get by the Colorado Avalanche in the end right now? Dallas is trailing Colorado by 6 games. I mean, it feels like they're running them down with this big-time winning streak here right now for Dallas. Colorado's won 3 in a row, but that doesn't matter. Dallas hasn't lost in 3 weeks. Dallas has won 6 in a row at home here. Colorado's won 5 of their last 6. They are just 2-5, though, against Dallas. They actually have a little bit of a trouble against the Stars lately. So 10 of the last 11 meetings between the two teams here in Dallas have gone over, believe it or not. How about that? You think of Dallas and all the unders at home and how they play at home, right? And usually it's a 3-2 game, but 10 of 11 in Dallas between two teams that, see each other frequently. That sounds like a good trend. It's not like right now. I mean, yeah, Colorado, 12-7 to the under on the road, 26-32 to the under as a favorite. Dallas, 12-16 to the under at home. But as an underdog, Dallas is 7-up and 7 down. So maybe there is something to that. 4 of the last 5 games between the two teams have gone over, and Dallas has gone over in 6 of their last 9. Colorado's number 1 on offense. Dallas is number 2 on defense. There's no doubt that, you're playing into the contrast here a little bit, but I don't know. That sounds to me like when the two teams meet up, it's an over, right? What happened already this season? Last game was 5-4. I think the under was last season 4-1 at Colorado there. So Dallas has won so many games in a row here right now. Does seem like maybe I'm going to take Dallas here in this one, but man, I think we're going to go over here somewhere, somehow. Give me Dallas so to win this big game and see how much pressure we can keep on these guys here right now. Look at a beautiful day out here in Florida. There's Moinello from the Japan League there on the mound here for Cuba right now. It's the bottom of the first inning. This looks like it'll be a nice game. All right, let's see what the chat has. The show's almost over, you guys. Thanks a lot. Oh, bad execution there. That was not a good effort. Okay. There we go. And we got some Stars support here, looks like. JP Farley, good day for a Cuban sandwich. Robert's on the Stars. And Philly Eagle Flyer, every game over 5.5, play a bigger parlay, wings win over 5. A Philly Eagle Flyer wings and over, he says go over 5. And the Oilers, the Ducks, a BGK parlay, I think that's what that says. Irish King likes overtime in this one. R. Thompson's on the Stars. JP Farley's on the under, though. And but Philly Eagle Flyers on the over there. Like we said, what a bizarre, I don't think there's something to that, right? These two teams have been very, very good over the last few years and had some great epic battles. I'm talking about the Stars here and Colorado, right? We think about that series there last year, right? So, okay, here we go. Chicago Moneyline. Thank you, Irish King. Thank you. That is our coverage of the Chicago game right there. Thank you, Irish King. We skipped that one on purpose. We're skipping it. We're going to Montreal next. But taking on the Ducks here right now. What another good game here this one is. Montreal comes in 33-18-9. My Canadians and my Ducks. Here are two of my favorites. Montreal has lost 8 of the last 9 meetings in Anaheim. And look, Anaheim hasn't been like they were world beaters over the last 10 years. This is a bad spot for Montreal, right? If we talk about what is a bad spot, this feels like it. Now, Montreal's gone over in 5 of their last 7 on the road and over in 4 of their last 5 overall. And they're playing the Ducks. I mean, come on. Although the Ducks have gone under in 4 of 6 and 4 of their last 5. Hey, here's some college basketball steam in a game we've already talked about. Illinois, Chicago, and Murray steam to the under in the Missouri Valley. Okay, if you know what I mean. Look, if you know, you know. The steam's coming in right now. It was 149. It's down to 147.5 here. Steam to the under in the Missouri Valley. Funny yesterday, right? One of the games we talked about, it went from 124 to 124 to 128. 4-point move to the over in all these under Missouri Valley games. Sometimes they just bet it. The pros don't know. They always say, right? The pros bet numbers. Well, I'm no pro. I have to study the numbers, and I've studied it under. Okay, let's keep it going here, though, in this one with Montreal and Anaheim here. I think it feels like a pretty good spot for Anaheim right now. I'm going to take Anaheim in this one to beat my Ducks over my Canadians here in this one. I think there's something behind the season series for sure, series history for sure for these two. Ducks won it 3-2 at home last year. This is the first meeting between these two teams, so they got to play again later on. Actually, Montreal did win a couple of games at home against Anaheim, and then they had that only win of the series was 2 years ago. But all other than that, it was all Anaheim, and Anaheim was they both kind of sucked. And, they're both much improved this year. So, maybe that'll help the Canadians. All right, let me get your plays in the chat in this one. But I'm going to try. I think I'm going to have a pick on the total there later on. Here we go with hello to Robert today. Must be Robert in the chat. Here's Anaheim for Irish King. Robert's on the Ducks. Jordy's on the Ducks. Irish King says Colorado Moneyline, McKinnon to score, Natchez assist, same game parlay. Quack says, hey, want to say there's a Dave Laughlin in the chat. Great to see you, Dave. Man, that's so nice of you to say that. Sometimes I go, Hey, come to the weekend show when I go on tilt when I start losing and Mike and Jeff start winning and I start throwing a temper tantrum. Robert here is on the over. Farley here is on the Canadians. And, it's just me trying to be Mr. Sportscaster. That's all. All my failures in life. And hey, don't get me wrong. I mean, this is, I can't think of any other place I'd rather be. But I thought I would be a play-by-play guy or a beat writer. I guess I'm all of the above. I guess I'm doing exactly. Hey, hashtag tout life. Irish King, Carolina team total over, Svechnikov anytime goal, Aho anytime goal. Kane likes the Canadians here. Jerry, there we go. Jerry's loving the Arch Madness. Jerry, I think we're doing it again today. I mean, maybe it's the worst kept secret, but like I said, that total moved 4 points to the over yesterday, and it made the difference, right? You probably were involved in it. I think wasn't it 124 up to 128 there in the Arch Madness. Here's what my sheet looks like at the end of the day. But so the Arch Madness, it was from 124 to 128, lands 127-ish, right? So it did go under the final number there. All right, we got a few more here. How about good game here? Another interesting one. Hurricanes taking on the Oilers here. Hurricanes $1.15, maybe even $1.20 now. 6.5 over 35. Is there any sevens out there yet? Is there any sevens? Does anybody see the main line of their book at a 7 yet? I do not see really any yet, but I'm seeing everything into the 35 range here with the juice, and it's going to go over. I mean, come on, how is it not going to go over? Look at these Edmonton scores over since the break. Each Edmonton, what is it averaging? 7.4 goals per game since the break here with Edmonton. 4-3, 6-5, 8-1. I'm sorry, 4 games so far for Edmonton. 6-5, 8-1, 5-4, 5-4. You got to go over in this one, don't you, with the Hurricanes and the Oilers? Let's look at it. Maybe we can go to the side. Everyone's going to go over in this game, aren't they? Anybody want to go under? Carolina's gone under in 5 of their last 7 on the road, but they've gone over in 6 of their last 9 overall. They've gone over in 5 of the 7 years here in Edmonton. Edmonton's gone over in 5 straight, dating back to the 1 game before the break. And Edmonton had gone over in 5 of the last 7 games at home. These two teams met in November. It was 4-3. Edmonton won at Carolina. So maybe you could take the side here. Carolina 38 and 16-8 on the road. Edmonton 16-10 at home. Edmonton just 2-6 as an underdog this year. Now this one's close. They're still the underdog though right now, and I don't think they're going to be a favorite here in this one right now. But is this a spot where they could actually win? Edmonton have beat Carolina in Carolina. Each of the last 2 games between them. One was last year, but Edmonton did win. So maybe this is somebody they can beat. There's no real series history to it. They've kind of been back and forth. So let's go to the chat, though, here real quick and see what you got. All right. They all moved right before tip, they said. Okay. Oh, Dave. All right. Oh, right. I love Dave. I mean, that's my jam right there. 80s music. Don't get me on a rabbit hole here right now, but I mean, come on. I mean, that's I'm all about that era. Kind of like my personality. I loved all different types. I mean, I loved a groove. I love Bob Marley. I love rock and roll, mostly soul and R&B from the 80s. So I'm kind of that guy, actually. A lot of that good right in there. Yeah, I mean, I was big on Prince and all that, but I kind of like the era right before that a little bit, before the guitar kind of got into the soul and the R&B music, kind of like Heat Wave type of thing, right? Car Wash, you know what I'm saying? All right, over trifecta here for Philly Eagle Flyer. Dave is going to go under there, I think he said. Robert's on the over. Bobby Mack here on the Canes, and JP Farley is on the over here. Let me take the over in this one. I'm kind of focused on the side a little bit. I'll take the over. Of course I will, with Carolina and Edmonton. Okay. Look, we almost canceled the Blues and the Sharks, but come on, the Sharks still have a chance here. I know it's gotten away from it. Still, I'd call it a great year, a good year for the Sharks. I'm sure that the rookie would like to get into the playoffs here and everything, but still a pretty good year for the Sharks, even if they end up short. They're not done yet. They still have a chance. They're in sixth, though, and they're battling with the Kings, and it does seem like the Kraken and the Oilers are going to get away from them a little bit, but they're at home here right now. They're in a great situation. Come on. They'll probably crush the Blues here, right? I mean, look, the Blues are in last place right now in the Central. They're minus 8 3/4 units on the road, 19, 17, and 3 on the road overall. San Jose is still 10 units to the good at home, 17 and 10 here. They've won 3 in a row. This sets up nice. I don't care if maybe the Blues would come in and upset, win as a short dog, but I think it seems like a fine price at $1.30 or $1.35. The way the Sharks have been at home, they've been just absolute money makers here. Yeah, you could have worse spots or better. I don't know if you could have better spots here. I guess you're a good team, but St. Louis does come in here off of a couple of nice road wins at Minnesota and at Seattle, although that might work against them here. They've had 2 road wins in a row. They're on the road, third road game. They're still 9 and 17 on the road. San Jose 17 and 10 at home. San Jose's not a good favorite, 2 and 4 overall as a at home here, but I think I might end up on the over here in this one with St. Louis and San Jose. Right now, the last game was 4-3 back in December. San Jose did win at St. Louis. St. Louis also has a home win this season, 3-2 over them overall here. But I'm going to grab the over in this one. I think the Sharks are going to be maybe a place somewhere down the line here today, but give me the the over here in this one. All right, we've got Irish King Sharks money line, Celebrini with a goal. And San Jose only 3 points out of the wild card and the 2 games at hand. Thank you, Jim. Yep, I'm trying to still root them on. They're going to be in the previews. I mean, we're not saying they're eliminated, but, they've fallen a little bit here. Wild over and sprinkle the draw. There's the Sharks for Jordy. Sharks, and more Sharks. I mean, I might not even send it out as a probably just went with them on the show. Everybody's already on them. You don't need me to tell you to be on them here. Just take your chances with this, with this situation. The Sharks have been absolutely, terrific money makers, about as good as it gets at home here this season. If you could roll with the pretty much with the Sharks, with Boston at home, Sharks, Boston, and Anaheim at home, we probably wouldn't even need to do. Oh, it's home run. Jokelis Giebert here with a solo shot. And Cuba hits a home run off of Panama. Panama's got great uniforms. Yeah, does Cuba have the same uniforms as they wore in 1977, or what? Did Fidel order these? Okay, one more here. Oh, boy. All right. I'll make myself laugh here. Wild and Golden Knights. Let me put the Golden Knights up there, not the Golden Knight. I should tweet that out, right? That sounds like a tweet right there. Okay, Wild and Golden Knights here in this one to wrap it up, and a pretty good game here. Minnesota, obviously the hotter team here right now. Although they've lost 2 of 3 Still, Vegas has lost 3 of 4. So Vegas comes in here, though, still 14-8 at home. Minnesota 18-9 on the road. They've been good on the road, right? Here overall, Minnesota comes in off of a win over Tampa Bay. That's nothing to sneeze at here. They won at home 5-1 after losing to Utah and St. Louis. Kind of disappointing, but their wins are against Colorado and Tampa Bay. So Minnesota is all that. Here right now, they're in third place, chasing Dallas, chasing Colorado, but it does feel like they belong in the, the grouping anyway. With those, they might be obviously a step down from those teams maybe here, but you're not going to deny them a chance to go up against some of the heavyweights here in the Western Conference, like the first place Vegas Golden Knights, currently just 1 point ahead of Anaheim here. See who does win the West, huh? And look, with this game, man, how do you not think there won't be goals, though? I would think, right? With these two teams, both teams, let's see, combined, they are 72 and 52 to the over. Minnesota 20 and 10 to the over at home. Vegas 18 and 10 to the over on the at home. Did I say it right? Minnesota 20 and 10 to the over on the road, and VGK 18 and 10 to the over at home. Sorry about that, gang. These two teams did meet back in December. It was 5-2. Minnesota got the win over PGK. Minnesota also won at home 3-2. But I think this one here, I think it's going over right now. But let me see here. I'm going to take Minnesota in this one as my pick to win on the road here. Like I said, Minnesota just solid here. Up 5 3/4 units at home. Vegas is down 7.5 units at home. Vegas, you're in first place, and if you've been betting Vegas every game, you're down 13 units. That's how overrated this Vegas team usually is. Now, they are an underdog here, so maybe this is the time. But I'm going to take Minnesota. I think there's something to it. A lot of people do. A lot of places are starting to have a pick 'em out there, and right now the stations here in Vegas, I think, is showing actually Vegas as the favorite. Now, might be a little bit of regional bias, but usually the Vegas books aren't, they don't quite play it like that. But let me make sure here and take a look and see if they are indeed the favorite here. Yeah, Vegas is the favorite here right now. And the app here, this is the station's app here in Las Vegas, $1.15 there. So, all right, I'll take Minnesota, and we're going to play the total for sure, I think, somewhere. Okay, thanks, everybody. That's going to do it for the morning steam. I'm going to send out some packages today, but hey, I hope you'll get involved with me if you did like this show. You can support me here on the Sports Money Network by subscribing to my picks over there at winnable.com/Ramon. I'll be having plays here today, but you can get more plays from me. Look, we're doing these several hours in advance, not in all the games here with them about to get underway. I'm going to get a package out here. I think we talked about all the early games, so probably no picks on the early, but I'm definitely going to have a few, and I'm going to have tennis too. I got to come back with some tennis after we crushed that card on the men's side there yesterday. The women's card, I thought they said, was one of them an actual, I think it was a retirement. We didn't get a win on that. So, okay, but thanks for everybody for joining me here. Use the promo if you like what you see, 41 cents a day. Subscribe for 1 month over at winnable.com. Let Mikey tell you all about it.
Hey, it's Mikey Money here, letting you know the Sports Money team is live on Winnable. Come check out our best bets.
For a low monthly cost, you get the very best bets delivered instantly to your phone by text the moment they're locked in. No delays, no missed lines, just the smartest plays at the best odds.
We do the work, you get the plays, and they're sent right to your phone right when we drop them.
Don't wait, don't guess, don't miss the line. Join the winning team today and start cashing tickets with Winnable.
Okay, the drawing is underway, and somebody's going to win 1 month of plays if they'd like from me. We're doing okay. We got some other plays coming out too. So, JP Farley, great to have JP Farley giving some great contributions. I'd like to thank JP Farley by offering them 1 month of my subscription plays over at winnable.com. Just sign up and use the promo code WINNER. You will not be charged for 1 month. After 1 month, you'll have to cancel if you don't like what's going on, my man. But if you do like it, and more so, it's just how you support me here on the channel and get more plays from me as well. You don't have to, I'm not like those big boys that are going to guarantee we're going to go all the way to the bank, but you're getting an honest effort from me every day. I handicap a lot of sports and a lot of games, and I like to think I can come through with some great picks and suggestions, and that's why it's only 41 cents a day when you use the promo code Steam here. So please consider subscribing if you're not. And JP gets the 1 month though there. Thank you very much to everybody here today, and enjoy the day. Mikey Money joins you today at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 Pacific with pre-gaming. Mikey gets you ready for the primetime action here for tonight's card, and I'll be back tomorrow with more morning steam for Saturday, and we're going to get ready for that UFC action as well. Make sure you go check out BB MMA Picks, get those previews. BB, I was embarrassed to have to tell BB that he 3 of his picks here. You'd think if I could just go with BB's picks, right? He hosts the show, been hosting the show with him for 5 years. He's one of the top MMA handicappers, proven on that MMA.tips site. Why not just go with BB and not have 3 losses on the main card that BB hit the big underdog, there and won the right? Just go with your man. Stop trying to be fancy, but BB won. BB won. Okay. Okay, that's going to do it here for the morning steam. Thanks a lot, everybody. I was just checking one more, try to see if we get some hockey moves here, hockey trades. We're going to get hockey trades. The trade deadline's in 3.5 hours here. Who's going to get dealt? Maybe I missed some already and they didn't come across the high-speed sports wire here. All right, catch you tomorrow, everybody. Thanks a lot. For the Sports Money Network, I'm Ramon Scott. So long from Las Vegas.
100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice or might play a parlay. It's the morning steal. What? Ramon Scott. Sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money.